Yo, what is up, people? Welcome back to our Weekends with the Warning today. We're watching an interview of them after a performance. But yeah, I've ran out of after movies. I've watched every after movie that there is. So I'm now starting to look at some Warning Army videos and just some interviews, just to see more. I don't want to stop the series. I want to keep it going as long as I can.
There's something very MTV Unplugged about this, and I love it. Well, thank you three for coming to visit us.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. 1029 KUFO was on the air and then wasn't for a couple years, and now it's back. So we're so happy to be able to represent rock and roll in this space. So the three of you have pretty much grown up in front of your audience, making YouTube videos, the Enter Sandman cover that really took off. When you look back at your early videos and your music versus where you are now, do you think anything has changed creatively, or has it exactly stayed the same?
Well, many things have changed because we started as children. So, of course, we're going to start changing as people. We grew up, basically. Mm-hmm. But I think there's something really special about having that growth be heavily documented. And, it's all on the internet. You can see us, how we played before. You can see how our technique changed. You can hear our voices change, quite literally. But something that has really stayed the same is that we're doing it together.
Exactly.
So that sisterhood is, the ground for everything that we do. It's at the center of everything we do. So that collaboration, that teamwork has just really stayed intact. And more than anything, I think it has evolved into something that's very beautiful. Because one thing is it's our dream to share music, to tour, to we're literally living our dream, but to be able to share that dream with your family, the people who you love the most, is something that's very special. So I think that appreciation has definitely grown, but I think it has always been there for sure.
I love that. It's a very unique experience that I think a lot of us will never have. So because you're sisters, I imagine there's no real way that you can clock out, so to speak. So something exciting or stressful happens for the band. Do you guys process that as bandmates or more like family?
I think the line has really blurred together, but
it has blurred, but I think over the years we've really tried to keep it separate as much as we can, because I think it depends on the band thing. If it's a bit more personal, then it does blend it as family, but when it comes to the band, at the end of the day, it's work. We really try to keep it there and not make it personal. If we're writing or something, it's never personal or as family. It really is just whatever we're trying to do is for the best of the band. So we've really tried over the years. It's hard, but we try to keep it separate as much as possible.
We could be in the kitchen and be okay, time out. We need to talk about a work thing. Or time out. Let's not talk about work while we're eating.
But also, I think with the, how do you say, logros, the accomplishments that we have, sometimes we don't fully celebrate the weight of our accomplishments because it's not we have so many, but there's just so many things that are happening constantly that we should don't take the time to celebrate. And I think that's a moment where we're we should celebrate as family. This is a big thing. We should take the time to appreciate each other and say let's
go to dinner.
Because as in a work environment, that's just your everyday thing. But as a family, sometimes oh my God, we're here. That's so cool. But it is a conscious decision to kind of separate as much as we can.
Yeah, you really nailed compartmentalism. I love it.
Yay.
So this is kind of a two-part question, but it's no secret that rock music is really having a new wave, and a lot of this huge moment right now is triggered by a lot of younger bands who are already pointing to The Warning as part of that new wave. Why do you think fans, especially younger listeners, are reconnecting with heavier music? And did you ever imagine that you'd help lead that conversation?
Oh
my God. Well,
I think a huge part of it.
I can attest to this actually because before listening to The Warning, I didn't really listen to rock music, but once I got into The Warning, I started really enjoying rock again. And then they led me into a bit of the heavier stuff like Nemophila, Bandmade, but also Nightwish is another regular on my channel. They came from The Warning. Without The Warning, I wouldn't have branched out to those heavier bands. And it's actually really helped me appreciate more music,
Is that I think younger people are seeing themselves represented on stage right now. I think that for a long time, the only thing that we could see in rock music was like these legacy bands that would seem so far away from the moments that we were living like as children. Like I remember growing up and seeing these bands, and they were like these, well, I would say really old bands, but I was like 5. Of course they were going to be old for me. So like Pink Floyd and Queen and all these older bands, they just seemed so far away sometimes. But I think that with the internet, you can see so many people do like your age doing the things that you were doing or that you want to do. And especially right now with this new wave of people and bands doing the rock and roll thing, it's very special. Like yesterday we played with Youngblood, we played in Seattle, and I was looking at the crowd and there were so many like little kids. And I was thinking that's either probably their first concert or it's the first time they see somebody near their age.
Yep.
I'm quite older than kids right now, but still, they see themselves represented on stage, and it's something that's achievable. And there's also a history of, like, if you go back in our careers, you can see us as kids doing that. So I think that people can lean a little bit forward. And also, I think other parents can see what our parents did for us, like that support, the, like, take your kids to piano lessons type of thing. And I think that's being inculcado. How do you say that?
Oh my God. Taught.
Yeah, it's being taught a little bit more, like in like it's being.
Embrace.
God, English is.
I forgot. I always forget that like English is their second language, you know, and sometimes they can't find the right word.
It's hard sometimes. I'm sorry.
Embrace. Yeah. It's not the exact translation, but
No.
it gets the point across. But yeah.
I love that. That's awesome. So you recently released a new single off of the newest album, Kerosene.
Yeah.
Music video rules too, if you haven't watched it. With this new album coming out, what can we expect to be different compared to your last one, Keep Me Fed?
We scream a lot more. Well, Pau does.
I learned how to scream properly this
she
time.
learned how to scream. So now we're using that to our advantage. But more than anything, I think this new album will represent a lot more like of our experiences, even at a further like as we start making more music as we grew up, we started becoming more raw and more honest with our own experiences, because as kids we didn't have a lot of, you know, original and unique experiences to write about. So as we start writing more, it becomes a lot more personal and a lot of things that we kind of have to share of what we've experienced. So this new album, it's just a step forward in that direction, like that makes it different from Keep Me Fed, because we started that with Keep Me Fed, but now it's a lot.
Yeah, I think
more.
it's for sure evolved. I think Keep Me Fed was a very big like learning experience. It was our first time being on the road and writing with other people and seeing what we wanted to do. And Keep Me Fed was written over like the space of 2 years almost.
Yeah.
So for this album, we like, oh my God, I almost said the name of the album.
Oh.
My God.
Don't spoil.
Oh, they don't let us say the album name. Interesting.
Okay, for this new album, we were able to take time off the
Imagine if they all just spoiled it. That'd be crazy.
road. Oh my God, wait, my heart is racing. I'm so scared right now. Okay. We were able to take time off the road and like write for 2 months and do that specifically and sit down and like fully digest each song and figure out what we wanted to tell in this album. So
Digest each song.
I think, well, we always think it's our best album to date,
Yes.
but I truly feel so proud of what we did because it's so personal and it's so raw, and it's also such a huge step forward in the direction we want to take as artists. It still feels super The Warning, but I think that as we have grown up, we have given ourselves the liberty to explore new styles and new things. And a lot of people, like, we've been a band for 12 years, so I can understand why sometimes people feel very familiar to the things that we did in the past. But I think that's such a lovely part of like growing up as a musician, because you can, like, music accompanies you through those changes. And I think that the space where we are now as musicians and as people is fully reflected in this
music we
new
make, yeah.
album. Yes.
Cannot wait. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you're on tour with Youngblood. What's been the most fun or unexpected part being out on tour with these crowds?
Ooh, okay. So everyone has a great sense of style. I saw that. Like they're all just
dress
like
up for
so
these
glammed
shows.
up. I love
Yes.
that. No, they're a very big and nice community. We love having played for all of them. This is gonna be our second show in the US run, so we still have to get to know the crowds over here. But in the UK, they were just like so pumped to be there, and we just love to see a good community that likes to get together to enjoy music. You know, they're all like so connected, and they're open to have more connections through the world of music. So, and we're all for that. We're super happy and grateful to be part of this tour.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys, all three of you, for coming and performing for us and chatting with me.
Thank you.
They got another song. Let's give it up one more time. The Warning.
Well, thank you guys for joining me today, my Weekends with the Warning. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week with more Weekends with the Warning. But yeah, thank you for watching, and peace.